Going to have a look at the French newspapers now here on France 24. The French actor Gérard Depardieu is continuing to get an awful lot of attention in the French press this week. Not because of his acting, though, is it, Florence?
It's not because of his acting, but you might know him from the film Green Card, which talks about identity, etc. Sure. That is the issue here, but it's not fiction, it's reality. So just for a quick reminder, last week Gérard Depardieu said he was moving to Belgium because he was tired of paying so high taxes here in France. Now, Prime Minister Jean-Marc Ayrault reacted to this, calling him minable, which I guess you could say is a pathetic loser kind of insult. Now, Depardieu did not appreciate this at all. He wrote an open letter to Jean-Marc Ayrault yesterday saying that he was giving up his French citizenship. So lots of drama. According to Le Figaro, the right-leaning newspaper, this Depardieu scandal reflects badly on the government because it says that the government lost its nerve over the whole thing. And in their editorial, they say this is not to be taken lightly. This is a real scandal here. Now, they come to Gérard Depardieu's defense saying that, look, he's a famous actor, but he's not an elected official. So in a way, he can do whatever he wants. He's not held accountable to anybody. So if he wants to go to Belgium to pay lower taxes, well, he can do that. And they say it's not because he's ashamed of being French. It's because he's tired of the current government. And that, according to Le Figaro, is the real problem. It says that this episode reveals a real lack of judgment of the government because they keep insulting rich people. And Le Figaro says that they should be careful not to drive away French people who are successful, French people who make a lot of money, because there's this big wealth tax, 75%. That's already a lot, but the government should be careful not to add insult to injury.
And some of the papers have gone even further. In fact, aujourd'hui on France Le Parisien, and they're taking a bit of a closer look at people who've left France to avoid paying taxes.
Yes, ils sont partis, ils témoignent. The tax exiles takes a closer look. Gérard Depardieu is not an isolated case, according to Le Parisien. For instance, they interview a 48-year-old entrepreneur, Didier Delmer. He's been exiled in London since 2009. Now, he says he's not a fiscal exile, he's a fiasco exile, according to them. He fled to London to get away from his country's failure, as he says, fed up with high taxes, complicated regulations, etc. And what's funny, though, is that he set up a very successful business in London, which helps French people move to London to avoid taxes, and his business is booming, according to Le Parisien.
Okay, excellent stuff. Let's go back to Le Figaro once again. You've also picked something else out from them. They're looking at a measure the government's considered putting in place to fight against tax exiles.
That's right. It's interesting because the fact that Gérard Depardieu has given up his French nationality is very symbolic, because in France, you're taxed according to where you live, your residency, not your nationality. And Le Figaro points out, however, that La Cour des Comptes, the auditing court here, is looking into a measure where, yes, they would indeed tax French people according to their nationality. For instance, if you're French, you pay taxes in France. That would be the deal. Now, this measure does exist in one country, and that's the United States. And according to Le Figaro, this would be an effective way to fight against what they call these tax exiles.
Okay, well, Florence has found some other stories in the French newspapers, mostly about Gérard Depardieu, but this is about a big demonstration here in Paris yesterday in favour of gay marriage.
That's right. Here it is on the front page of Libération today, a photo taken at Place de la Bastille yesterday. It says, Le mariage pour tous, so gay marriage, a beautiful union, according to Libération. And there's an interesting article in Rue 89, the online magazine, which looks at the situation in the United States, where lots of states have legalized gay marriage. And it says that the rules are changing, and so are social codes. And so it looks how people there are trying to invent rules, invent these new traditions. For instance, who proposes? Who walks whom down the aisle? How does the first dance happen? How do you deal with homophobic families? So this is not your traditional wedding. You have to invent this new etiquette in a lot of ways. And it says that this is not only a big deal for gay people, but for people who work in the marriage industry, the very lucrative marriage industry. And according to Rue 89, it's kind of like the Far West. There's this new territory that is being discovered not only by gay people, but by people in the business.
Excellent. Interesting way of looking at it. Thanks very much, Florence with the French newspapers on France 24.